The beginning of wisdom is the definition of terms. These words remind us of something simple but profound, that before we chase knowledge, before we debate, before we act, we must first understand how many arguments in life are rooted not in real disagreement, but in confusion, in speaking the same words, but meaning different things, in using big concepts with no shared foundation. We talk about love, but what do we mean? Do we mean passion, patience, commitment, or control? We talk about success, but do we mean money, peace, respect, or meaning? We say we want freedom, but is it freedom from or freedom to? We seek happiness, but what does that look like to each of us? This is why the whys begin with definition, because clarity is power. If you do not know what you mean, you do not know what you seek. And if you do not know what you seek, how will you ever find it? Think about it. When you define your terms, you set your direction. When you say, this is what love means to me, this is what growth looks like, this is what truth requires, you give yourself a compass. You begin to move with intention, not confusion. Without this, you wander, you drift, you chase what others chase. You get lost in noise, in complexity, in contradiction. This is why the philosopher begins not with answers, but with questions. What is justice? What is virtue? What is courage? Not because they are slow, but because they are precise, because they know that a sword drawn in haste can cut the wrong thing. The same applies to life, to relationships, to work, to personal growth. How often have you said, I'm not enough, without defining what enough means? How often have you said I failed without knowing what success would have looked like? This is why clarity is the foundation of confidence. When you define your own terms, you are no longer bound by someone else's standard. You are no longer confused by the expectations of the world. You are no longer trapped in comparison. Instead, you become anchored. You become aware. You become free. So if you feel lost, start by asking, what am I really trying to do? What does this word mean to me? What is the truth behind the label? Define your peace. Define your values. Define your goals. Not with noise, not with borrowed beliefs, but with your own inner clarity. Because when you know what you mean, you will speak with power, you will live with direction, and you will grow with purpose. Remember, the beginning of wisdom is not in the doing. It is in the understanding. It is in the asking. It is in the careful naming of things. Because when your words are clear, your thoughts become sharp, your decisions become stronger, and your life begins to align. So do not fear the pause. Do not rush past. Meaning, take the time to define the terms of your life, and you will discover a power that noise can never give. This is how wisdom begins, with clarity, with intention, with truth, spoken clearly, and lived deeply.